Hello everybody, let's continue with the week 4 materials. So we are going to learn about the 5-number summary and box plots. And in this topic, we're going to compute the 5-number summary and then draw and interpret box plots. The 5-number summary of a set of data consists of the smallest data value, that is the minimum, and then the first quartile, the median or the second quartile, the third quartile, and the largest data value, which is the maximum. We organize the 5-number summary as follows. We start with the minimum to the very left or the bottom, and then the first quartile follows that, and then the median, and then the third quartile, and lastly the maximum. Let's look at this example to see how can we obtain the 5-number summary. Every 6 months, the United States Federal Reserve Board conducts a survey of credit card plans in the U.S. The following data are the interest rates charged by 10 credit card issuers randomly selected for the July 2005 survey. Determine the 5-number summary of the data. And here's our data presented in front of us. To find the 5-number summary, remember how to find the quartiles? It's the same process. So first we're going to order our data from smallest to greatest. And then the smallest is going to be our minimum and the largest is going to be our maximum. So we found the minimum and maximum. And then we find the median, which is 13.6. And then the median for the first half of data, or the bottom part of our data, which is going to be 12. That is the first quartile. And the third quartile is going to be the median for the top half of our data, which is going to be 14.4. To draw a box plot, we need to determine the lower fence and the upper fence. And using the formula for the upper fence and the lower fence, we can then find the lower fence and upper fence. We're going to draw a number line long enough to include the maximum minimum values. Insert vertical lines at Q1 and M and Q3 and enclose these vertical lines in a box. And then we're going to label lower and upper fences, and then draw a line from the first quartile to the smallest data value that is larger than the lower fence, and draw another line from Q3 to the largest data value that is smaller than the upper fence. These lines are called whiskers. Finally, any data value less than the lower fence or greater than the upper fence, we use an asterisk to indicate it, and that is considered an outlier. So for this example, again, let's construct a box plot. Remember that we calculated all of our 5-number summaries for the previous example, and then we create our box plot by following the steps to create a box plot. I will show you how to do that in Excel. As you can see, we have the median is in the middle, and then we have the first quartile and the third quartile. Then there is a line connecting the maximum with the third quartile, and another line or whisker connecting the minimum with the first quartile. And that represents the lower fence, which is 8.4. This represents the upper fence, which is 18%. And that number right there, which is 6.5, is considered an outlier. Now, how can we use the box plot to describe the distribution of our data? As you can notice here, if the whisker that is extending from the third quartile is longer than the whisker that extending from the first quartile, then our data is skewed right. And then if those whiskers are the same length, then our data is normally distributed or symmetric or bell-shaped. Then if the right whisker or the whisker that is extending from the third quartile to the maximum is less than the whisker that is extending from the first quartile to the minimum, then our data is skewed left. I hope this helped you, and I will see you in class.